Hello, everyone, and welcome to The World According to Allie, Season 2, Episode 2, Owning Your Personal Power. I am just Allie, and this season is all about owning your personal power, stepping into who you are, growing, evolving, blooming into who you are meant to be. If you didn't listen to the first episode of Season 2, that's okay. You can go back and listen to it. It has valuable information on getting to know yourself. This episode is all about ambition and making it happen. Before we get started, if you're not following me on social media, you can find me on Twitter at Just Allie. Instagram, it's I am Just Allie. That's I am just JUST ALLY. Snapchat, although who am I kidding? I am hardly ever on Snapchat unless I am sending a snap to my niece, but it is Just Allie from BK. So let's get into it. Ambition. It's defined as a strong desire to do or achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. It is desire and determination to achieve success. These are not inherently bad things, but as a woman, and I am speaking to women here, for some reason, many of us still fear saying we are ambitious out loud. It's because the world, even in 2021, sees this as a negative trait in women. Women are not supposed to be overly ambitious. If we focus on our careers, there's that inevitable question about family. And if we're focused on our family, we're seen as lacking ambition. There's no sweet spot for women. And this, in and of itself, is just ridiculous. You can be what you want to be, and that includes being a homemaker. I mean, seriously, being a homemaker requires management, leadership, and patience that any CEO has. But don't let me digress. Today, I'm here to talk about never apologizing for your ambition. So are you ready? Let's do this. The first thing is examining your own mindset. We often put limitations on what we can achieve. We stop ourselves. We have negative inner self-talk, and we talk ourselves out of doing the things that we really want to do. For example, I have a blog, a YouTube channel, and this podcast. I'm also a mom. I have a full-time career as a director of human resources at a university. And I regularly question myself. What am I doing? Having a career and being a mom is enough. What do I have to say? And who wants to hear it? I honestly have to tell myself to shut the hell up on many days because I have lots to say and lots to share. And who wants to hear it and who needs to hear it, they'll find it. Stopping negative self-talk may need to be a topic in and of itself in the Owning Your Personal Power series. But the first thing is really examining your own mindset. What is it that you are telling yourself? The next thing is create a plan and write it down. Your plan is a living document. This means you need to revisit it often. It's going to need updating as your life changes, as you change. And you can have multiple plans. For example, my career plan, take on more leadership roles in cross-departmental committees. My life plan, make dating a priority, hold an office in my sorority. My creative goals, build my podcast audience, brand my social media better. And then you need to get specific about this plan. So let's take branding my social medias better, my social media pages better. This requires me looking at how I use social media. Now that I have started this podcast, how do I represent this on my social sites? Do I have consistent messaging? Do I post consistently? Do I need to research how to brand social media pages? Or do I need to hire somebody? I need to really get specific about what I want my social media pages to say about this podcast and this brand of the world according to Allie. And I need to change my social media pages to reflect that. You need to set your goals up to be specific so that you can really measure them and know when you've achieved them. Before I get into the next topic, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Anchor FM. All right, so let's continue. What is your value? What do you have to contribute? Also, you need to write this down. Understanding your value helps you build your confidence because it makes you recognize what you uniquely bring to the table. So, for example, let's look at dating. What makes me dateable? This is way more than I think I'm attractive because I know I am a workaholic. Do I carve out time for relationships? Am I kind? Am I easy to talk to? Am I funny? Am I my own friend? Do I have an open heart? Would you date yourself? Would I date me? What are my hobbies? Do I even put myself out there? You have to ask yourself the hard questions, but then come up with all of the reasons why you are simply fabulous. And you need to figure out what your value is for everything. What is my value that makes me want to be or could be successful as a leader in a cross-departmental committee? What is my value that makes me or could make me successful at holding an office in my sorority? You have to really be specific in writing down what these values are. The next thing is build a support network. You need allies, mentors, coaches, and sponsors. Allies are those people who are willing to personally align themselves with you and make sure that you're heard and included. Mentors, on the other hand, take a long-range view of your growth. They help you see the destination. They offer encouragement and cheerleading, but that they're not necessarily the ones that are going to tell you how to do it. That's what a coach is for. A coach is similar to a mentor, but they offer more short-term, immediate advice on specific target areas. You can think of a coach just like you would think of a coach on any sports team. They're going to tell you what you need to do, and then they're going to say, go do it. Now let's talk about sponsors. Sponsors is the most powerful relationship. A sponsor takes action on your behalf. They have influence and confidence at the highest levels in your organization. They have a seat at the table. You've probably had sponsors that you didn't even know you had. There was someone who may have offered your name up for a promotion or a project lead when you weren't even in the room. They said, what about Alicia? What about you? This is a relationship that you want to make more intentional. It's a little bit harder to find partners, and sometimes the mentors can become sponsors, but this intentional relationship is with a person who knows your value and has a seat at the table. My last piece of advice is to stop doing. You heard me right. Let go of the belief that if you work hard, you'll get recognized. Don't get it twisted. You have to do your job. But oftentimes we take on too many projects and then we get this reputation of being a worker bee or a doer. And this inhibits people from seeing you as a leader. You need to be strategic about the projects that you take on. Now, if you're already the queen or the king of the invisible project, here's a quick tip on how to fix it. Write down your projects, and during a meeting with your supervisor or your annual review, let them know everything that you've been working on, but highlight your project management skills and your transferable skills. Honestly, no one gets ahead alone. So you really need to think about all of these things, this advice that I'm giving you to help you with your ambition. So, to sum it up, examine your own mindset. Create a plan, write it down. Know what your value is, build a support network, and stop being a worker bee. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The World According to Allie, episode 2 of season 2, Owning Your Personal Power, Ambition, and Making It Happen. And if you like this episode, you can follow this podcast. You can share this podcast, donate to the podcast. You can donate to me at Cash App. It is the $ I am just Allie. Venmo is at just Allie. Or you can show your support on Anchor FM. You can donate directly on there. If you're not following me on social media, you can find me again on Twitter at just Allie, Instagram, I am just Allie, and Snapchat, just Allie from BK. But you probably are not going to see a snap from me. I'm just going to put that out there. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting this podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you next month for another series in Owning Your Personal Power.